Hello everybody, we're the VDEE Voz de Evangelio Eterno iOS application group. I'm Samuel Valdez.
Nicholas Rosas.
I'm Brittany Arnold.
My name is Jesus Perez.
And a little bit of background before we get started. VDEE has a local radio station based off of Salinas, California. It currently has a website and it's backed by a global church.
So the project motivation for this particular project was to expand the user base. So we wanted to appeal to a more younger user base because the current demographic is composed of an older group. Also, we wanted to track user interaction throughout the application. So if the user decides to press the play button, we can track that. And we also wanted to give power to the organization so they can choose to keep or remove features.
Before we get into the project objectives, I want to point out the image we have here of the existing application that we started out with. So the core features in the existing application were the radio play button and a static menu for the radio. So our objectives were to redesign the existing application as well as track features and manage the features as well. We also wanted to add new features to provide more functionality to the app.
So here are some of the technologies that we used, and to give you a better perspective on this, I'm going to give you a basic workflow. So each feature that we developed was in Objective-C using Xcode, and to track the performance of each feature, we use Fabric, which is a data analytic tool. And if that feature is not successful or is causing crashes to our user base, we want to address those problems quite quickly, and that's where Firebase comes into play. With the ability to toggle from on and to off. And lastly, Fabricator allowed us to review each other's code.
So no project, goes perfectly smooth. There are obstacles that are expected along the way. And some that we encountered would be access to the data that was found on the Valverde website, being that there was no existing API for us to connect to and pull their data into our application was very difficult. We also ran into a bit of client management issues, and the overall learning curve for Objective-C and these new technologies was a little steep, but in the end, we were able to fully come together and create a successful application. Some of our accomplishments, not including the Fabric Analytics and Firebase remote configuration, would include multiple radio stations that the user could listen to, as well as a background controller that they could pause and play. We also were able to integrate a Bible that they could read, as well as a Facebook group feed to check on the church's upcoming events.
So here are some of the screenshots of our main components. The first image includes multiple radio stations where the user can interact with. He or she can scroll left or right to choose what station he or she wants to listen to. The second image includes a Facebook group page to check what the local radio station events that they have. And lastly, third and fourth, contain Bible books that the user can interact with.
So we want to thank our mentor, Benito Sanchez, for guiding and supporting us through this project. And thank you. If you have any questions, please come see us at our posting. We'll be happy to answer them.